Well, hello my darlings, and welcome back to our channel. I am so glad you are here. Today on Danie's Designs Craftmas 2018 day 25, I am going to show you how to create a cake stand that is lighted but that is embellished all the way around with rose petals. I hope you'll stay tuned. For this project, you will need a pack of rose petals, any color of your choosing. I will be working with both red and gold for this craft. You will need a roll of white ribbon to match the white styrofoam. You will also need an LED push light. I have already wrapped mine in gold diamond wrap. You will need 4 of these crystal cabinet knobs, 1 9x9 or 10-inch mirror, and 1 4-inch by 10-inch styrofoam fall cake. Of course, you will need your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. The first thing we're going to do is place our legs underneath our styrofoam. And to do this, we're simply going to situate them east, west, north, or south, and south. And because we're gluing these directly to the styrofoam, the only adhesive that we are going to need is our hot glue. Now, as you can see, all I did was took my hot glue, placed a dollop of that hot glue underneath or on the bottom of that cabinet knob, and I'm placing my knob, holding it in place, applying some pressure for a few seconds, and then I'm allowing it to set even further. So once I have placed all 4 of my cabinet knobs, which are in turn going to become the legs for my piece, I am going to set this on a side to dry for a few minutes. However, in the essence of time and in making this video, I'm going to show you in this same reel how we're going to affix our push light. Now, all we're going to do with this is place 3 little bullets of hot glue on the bottom of this push light, because really and truly you do not want this to be a permanent adhesion. Whenever, of course, you need to go in and change your batteries, it will just be as simple as popping it off. So now that our feet have been set into place, it is now time to place our mirror on top of our foam. And to do this, we're simply going to go in with our hot glue. Now, if you notice, because I forgot to unplug my hot glue, I'm using a high temperature hot glue, that hot glue melted right into that styrofoam immediately. And so to ameliorate this, what I am going to do instead is I am going to place my hot glue on the mirror itself, so by the time I turn it over, get it into position and place it down, that hot glue would have in essence cooled off. So make sure when you are completing this step, my darling, your hot glue gun will either be set on its warm or tepid temperature, or if you're using a hot glue gun like myself, yours will be unplugged. Now that our mirror has been set into place, what we're going to do now is take our ribbon. I suggested using a white ribbon so that underneath your rose petals, if there's any part of it showing out, that ribbon will melt right into that white foam. But what I'm doing here, as you can see, is taking my ribbon and finding the measurement that I'm going to need going all around the circumference of that foam. Of course, we know that we're working with a 10-inch piece of foam, so I would measure at least 10.5, if not 11 inches. Now what I'm going to do, just to show you what it is I'm going to be continuing on the foam itself, I'm simply going to take my rose petals and I'm going to place them down on that ribbon using hot glue in an alternating fashion. Of course, if you opt to use one color as opposed to 2, or even if you choose to use two colors and you want to develop a pattern of your own, my darlings, that choice is up to you, and the possibilities with this are endless. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is taking my petals, placing them down one by one using a bullet of that hot glue. And when I'm placing my rose petals down, I am trying to overlap, if not the top as much as I can, but the roundness of the bottom of that rose petal. And so just continuing the process, going all the way, I say around, you're going to see in a minute, until you get back to the other side. So placing this last one on and then lifting it up so that you can see what it's going to actually look like on the foam. But what we're going to do now with this ribbon is actually place it on the styrofoam itself and continue to glue down our rose petals. Now, as you see here, I'm using my hot glue to place this ribbon onto that styrofoam. Again, because that styrofoam holds a lot of heat, we're working with a hot glue gun that is on high temperature. Waiting for this to set into place before your ribbon starts or stops dancing about is going to take you some time. So again, I would highly suggest that if you are going to be repeating this process at home, you are going to use a dual temperature hot glue gun on the low setting. So as you can see, I'm simply going to continue this process by taking my rose petals and laying them down one at a time, overlapping them over the petal that is already there. Now, you are going to continue this process until you get all the way back around to the other side to close that ribbon on the other side. And once you have done that, you're going to cut another length of ribbon and continue this process in layers, going all the way up that foam. This could possibly take you maybe 3, 4, or even 5 layers, depending on how tall your pedestal or your foam is, or depending on how full you want your rose petals to be. So here we have our piece with all of our rose petals laid down, and as you can see, this took me 4 layers to complete the entire piece. What we are going to do now to obscure that white ribbon or that foam that is sitting right there on the top is take a piece of gold diamond wrap, 2 layers of it, and simply etch this around the very top of our foam and abut it right where it meets the mirror. And so to do this, all I'm going to do is go in with a stream of hot glue in very short increments, maybe 2 to 2.5 inches at a time. Again, making sure to hold on to that diamond wrap until that hot glue cools and that diamond wrap sets into place. If you try to move it prior to that hot glue drying or cooling down just a little bit, your diamond wrap is going to drag in the glue and move, and this is not, of course, what you want. And so just continuing this process in increments of 2 to 3 inches at a time, going around using either your silicone fingers or a popsicle stick to make sure, my darlings, that you are not burning yourselves, but continuing this process until you get all the way back around to the other side. So here is our cake stand that we have layered in rose petals as well as etched in diamond wrap at the very top. And even though I did not say that you would have needed a brooch in the supply reel, what I'm going to do to finish this and just give it that look of luxury is take a brooch that I have had lying around or in my stash and just place it right there where I overlapped my diamond wrap to close it when I got back to the other side. And to do this, I am simply going to take my hot glue on high heat, and I am going to place some hot glue around the back of that brooch. Attach it, of course, to where I closed that diamond wrap, and then I'm going to push it down into place on top of any rose petals in which it comes into contact, just to make sure that it is going to stay in place during our event. And so what I'm going to do, of course, is clean this up of any glue fronds there are, and there are lots. I'm going to go ahead and, of course, clean my glass, stage this piece, and then return so I can show you what our finished project looks like. Well, here you have it, my darlings, our lighted rose petal cake stand. Isn't this piece just darling? I think I would have to say that the favorite part of this project for me would have to be the fact that these rose petals not only gives this piece a textured look, but that they also give this piece a look as if it is swaying or moving from side to side, pretty much the way an elegant lady's ball gown looks when she's dancing. And of course, with just that little added touch of bling. My darlings, I think that I would have to say that we have nailed yet another project, and we have done so on a budget. Of course, the option would be up to you if you wanted to make this in a set. This size that I created tonight is a 10-inch. I used a 10-inch foam with a 10-inch mirror. Of course, if you wanted to, you could use a 12-inch foam with a 12-inch mirror, or however big you can get that round, and however big you can get your round mirror. Of course, like I said, as usual and as always, the possibilities are endless. And so, my darlings, if you have found any value in this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as leave me a comment in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. To my Dani's darlings, I just would like to tell you thank you ever so kindly, and as usual and as always, for all of your love, your comments, your questions, your feedback, and most of all, for your encouragement. Please know that none of it is wasted, and I appreciate each and every one of you. To those of you who are not yet a Dani's darling, however, we would like to humbly invite you to join our ever-growing community of DIYers as we learn from and craft with each other on a weekly basis. Consider subscribing today, and if you do subscribe, also be sure to ring the notification bell to ensure that you will be made aware whenever any of our videos have been published. And so, my darlings, before I sign off from today's video, of course, of Dani's Designs Craftmas 2018 Day 25, can you believe it? I am going to leave you with the motto to our channel, which is simply this. Say it with me. Why buy when you can DIY? And so, my darlings, until next time, when I will see you for Dani's Designs Craftmas 2018 Day 26 surprise, I say to you, please, please, please take care of yourselves for me. Know that I love you all. Bye now.